welcome back to the video. We're starting this straight off rip. This is a Facebook Marketplace deal that I just made. Paid $485 for everything you're about to see. We're going to go in great detail right after I show these pictures, but a little bit of a backstory. Lady posts some Nintendo Power. She titles them Nintendo Comics. So I message her. I say, do you have any more video games? She says, do you want the old stuff or the new stuff? And I said, anything's good, but the old stuff's even better. Nothing happened. She sends no pictures for 2 weeks. I think the deal's done. Nothing's going to come of it. Just one of those things. He takes some L's, right? Then she sends me these pictures. She says, what do you want to offer me? I say $300. Bear in mind, this is straight Canadian. Because I don't know if any of this stuff works. It could be all, banged up. So it was a conservative offer. And I have no idea if she knows the worth of these things. And she's going to ask $1,500, whatever. She says it wasn't as much as she was hoping for. But to come over and see what else she had. So I did. They added more stuff to the lot. Apparently her husband was a reseller about 10 years ago. These are just the leftovers. And pretty good leftovers at that. So we're going to go through all this stuff. The stuff that she did add was a ColecoVision, a few SNES consoles. She found a G.I. Joe mount. If you guys know where that's from, please let me know. There was also at the old Tank game, because I said I also buy some old action figures. We're going to go through everything one by one. Let me know how you guys think I did. Ended up paying 485 Canadian dollars, roughly 366 US. Let me know how I did. So as you guys can see, there's a huge variety of stuff here. That flight command control definitely being one of the better ones. We'll get to that in a second. So it is in this box, comes with the game, everything. It looks in really good shape. We'll open that up a bit later. I still haven't tested that. I need to order some wires for some of this stuff. I'm giving you guys the comments of the best case scenario. Some of this stuff won't work, but just for the sake of time and how long it would take me to get these cables to confirm that, I'm going to give you guys the best case scenario. And just bear in mind that some of the stuff won't work, be about 50%. I'll be throwing up columns post-editing here of some of these games. The ColecoVision games normally don't go for too much, but do help that unit sell. I think I just need to buy one little cable for this one, and then this one's good to go. That's a cheap cable too, like $5. This particular one is in super nice shape, so I have almost no doubt that it will work. And this unit actually did come with a ColecoVision expansion module, which does do okay by itself. That's something I'll load up, including the case that it came with. The case is actually really sick. It's not really my kind of thing, but I collect disc-based games like PS2 and PS1. But if I was a collector, it's about in as good as collector shape as you can get. The Intellivision, on the other hand, I don't know about that one. That one is the one I have no expectations of working, but again, you never know. It comes with some decent stuff. This particular gun does actually hold some decent value, but with that wire exposed, I'll test it. If it works, obviously it won't get that full price, but these Sega Master Controllers actually surprisingly go for about 35 or 40 US. So that will get back a good chunk of my money as long as they work, and they are actually in pretty good shape. This gun actually surprised me too. I thought it would be similar kind of $15 to the NES blasters, but no, this actually holds some good value. So I don't really know if it's if it was orange, it's worth even more. Ooh, lots of nice games there. The NBA Live 97 is actually sealed, which is actually pretty cool. There's a rip in the seal, but contemplating keeping that. But it is probably a $25 game if I remember correctly. This right here is something I really hope works. Does actually come with also the Genesis Model 2. It's actually just a cool tower thing that kind of locks into each other. Again, I haven't tested that yet because I need to order some cables. So the Sega Master System there and the Sega CD, obviously the two best consoles from the lot in my opinion. So a weird Japanese game, I haven't been able to quite decide yet on what that is. And the Capcom Japanese game as well. Something I'll clean up and have to try and wait to test because it is worth holding on to testing. It's about $30, but some decent NES titles here, nothing super crazy. That Zelda holds about 25-35 ish range of value, always ranges depending. just decent titles. You gotta remember there is duplicates here because this guy was a reseller at some point. Look at some of the price. I don't know if you can tell. There's a price of $1.50 on one of these games. So 10 years ago, this guy somehow managed to pick one up for $1.50. Donkey Kong Country is always a classic. And again, these are ones I have not tested yet. But look at all those controls for the NES. That Mario Kart I've actually already sold. It's sold in less than 12 hours at, I want to say, about 27 US. It was really clean, really clean. Also tested that, it worked just fine. Look at all of these controllers too, guys. Those ones I don't think hold anywhere near as much value as the Sega Master controllers, but I'll lot some up with the NES and the rest of them. I'll either lot up or sell individually. Now this is actually pretty surprising. This is Nintendo, I believe it's for the NES, might be for the Super Nintendo, I'm not quite sure, I can't remember off the top of my head. But it actually is a mouse pad. It's just literally a piece of plastic branded by Nintendo. Still holds like 20 bucks, 15 bucks, something like that. These are also cool. Quick story about these manuals and game guides and all these different posts and stuff that would come from Nintendo Powers. The Nintendo Powers had already sold by the time she'd messaged me with the pictures of the consoles. Totally cool. There wasn't, I don't think, any crazy value in those. Would have liked to have them, but whatever. When I get there, I say, do you have any manuals, any of these games, any boxes, anything like that to keep them complete? He says, oh yeah, we have some still in the crawl space in a little bag. Do you want them? Of course I want them. Of course I want them. But this guy just didn't realize that they might hold value. And even if none of these are crazy valuable, but they will help the game sell. And obviously there's way more collector value for that. Real quick, opening this flight deck for the Atari. It's brand new, or no, it's not brand new. It's like basically new in the box. There's dust and obviously that kind of stuff, but it's really complete. No dents, no cracks, nothing like that. It comes with the game. Missing the inserts, I would imagine. But in its box, the last sale was actually 350 US. I don't necessarily expect to get that, but this should return a good chunk of my investment as long as it works. So fingers crossed on that for sure.
You're looking at Power Arcades, the fantastic new controls for your Atari 2600. This is Flight Commander, built like a machine gun. Atari to give you real arcade control, arcade action, arcade excitement. Power Arcades come with their own cartridges, but work with other Atari cartridges too. So now you can turn your 2600 into a Power Arcade with Flight Commander or Cosmic Commander, each sold separately from Milton Bradley.
Now this was a really sweet tank that this guy brought out for me. He actually just had it like in his house. I don't think he actually brought it out from the crawl space. I can't remember off the top of my head. He just said make an offer, and I figured, you know, he's giving me a good deal already. I'll offer in the high end of what I would pay. Only because I literally have no idea what this thing was worth. It was just like an on the spot, you know, do you want it? So I offered $25 for this, which I thought was a pretty fair bet. Never heard of the brand before. But on a Terapeak search, it looks like other stuff in similar kind of condition, but they normally sell guns, like toy guns. So I think I'll be able to get a minimum of 75 bucks, but really as none that have sold on eBay for the past 2 years. So this could be worth significantly more than that. It's just my conservative guess. This was also the supposed G.I. Joe mountain that came from, he said it was from some kind of zip lining G.I. Joe set. I'm yet to find that. I haven't done a ton of research on it, but I still have not found it. I paid $10, not something really I would bother shipping because it's so big, but hey, we'll take it.